Yeah, our main guy used to be super weak, and everyone constantly made fun of him. One day, his classmates totally stabbed him in the back, and the poor guy ended up falling deep into the abyss of a massive labyrinth. But down in those dark depths, he unlocks some absolutely insane next-level powers and even meets a brand new partner. What goes down after that? We are going to cover everything, but before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button for the channel. Chapter 1 kicks off with our protagonist, Hajime, wondering out loud if he is still alive or if he is already dead. It is so pitch black that he cannot see a single thing. He figures he must still be breathing. He finds himself in a totally unfamiliar spot and wonders where the heck he ended up. He guesses he must have fallen super deep into the Great Orcus Labyrinth. He hopes it is not so deep that nobody has ever ventured down there. Regardless, he knows he needs to hustle and find a way up to the higher levels. He starts looking for stairs heading up. As he walks a bit, he spots a rabbit and is totally shocked to see one this far down, thinking the monsters on the deeper levels were supposed to be way more dangerous. Right then, a pack of wolf monsters shows up, but that crazy rabbit wipes them out with a single kick. Seeing its power, Hajime realizes this rabbit is bad news. Suddenly, the ground gives way and he falls, catching the rabbit's attention. It hops over to him, but before it can do anything, an even more massive bear monster crashes the party. The rabbit tries to make a run for it, but the bear literally rips its head off with one swipe. Hajime is practically having a heart attack watching this. While the bear is busy eating the rabbit, Hajime tries to sneak away, but the monster spots him and attacks, completely tearing off Hajime's left arm. The bear casually eats his arm, too. Terrified, Hajime uses his transmute magic to carve a path through the stone wall and throws up some rock barriers to block the monster. The bear just smashes right through them and keeps chasing him. Running for his life, Hajime eventually passes out from the sheer pain and exhaustion. We then see some drops of liquid falling into Hajime's mouth, bringing him back to consciousness, though his missing arm still hurts like crazy. He looks up and realizes it is a holy crystal. It is this ancient mythological thing that forms from mana over thousands of years. He had read about this stone in the library and recalls that the liquid dripping from it is called holy water. It can heal any wound and even lift curses. He then breaks down his own skill, transmutation, which lets him transform the materials around him. Back in the day, Hajime was in the library looking up info to help his classmates out. He had started feeling like if he could not fight, surviving or escaping was going to be flat out impossible. Now, looking back at that monster, he admits he cannot fight it at all. He thinks he never should have come here and begs for someone to save him. The scene shifts to a flashback where the group leader is giving everyone a pep talk. He tells them they all need to have each other's backs inside the castle, and no excuses will fly. Everyone agrees, including Hajime, who is part of the squad. Once inside, a monster attacks Hajime, but Koki steps in, kills it, and promises to keep everyone safe. Hajime thanks him, but Hiyama chimes in from behind, mocking Hajime and asking what he plans to do with a sword, since he is still totally useless. A girl named Kaori walks over to check on Hajime, asking if he is okay. He says he is fine, but Koki chimes in, telling him he needs to put in more effort. Koki says if he were in Hajime's shoes, he would spend all his free time training to get stronger. Suddenly, they spot something glowing in the cave. Hajime asks what it is, and another guy mentions it is a trap crystal, noting that one this big is super rare, and people actually use them for engagement rings. The guy walks over to grab it, but Captain Meld yells at him to stop and not go alone, since they have not checked if it is safe. The second the guy touches it, the whole group gets teleported to a completely different area, swarming with skeleton monsters and a massive, freaky-looking dragon. Captain Meld realizes it is a trap and yells at everyone to fall back and make a run for the stairs. Koki and Shizuku team up and start taking down the skeletons. Shizuku tells everyone to hurry, but Kaori trips and falls. Captain Meld steps right in front of her, promising he won't let her die there. He casts a spell to throw up a magical shield, but the dragon smashes right through it, and the whole place starts collapsing. Kaori is still frozen on the ground, but Hajime suddenly jumps in front of her, telling her to run. Captain Meld asks if the kid is okay, and Hajime admits he won't be able to hold the monster off for long. He yells for someone to grab Kaori and get her out of there. A teammate scoops her up and runs, while the entire cavern starts falling apart. Meld tells Hajime to get out of there, saying the rest of them will handle it. The captain and his squad start casting magic together. Hajime tries to make a run for it, but the scene cuts back to the present, where Hajime is asking himself why he doesn't just die already. He realizes he genuinely does not want to die. His left arm is in agonizing pain, even though it is completely gone. Boiling with anger, he wonders whose fault this is and who did this to him. The flashback resumes, showing Kaori swearing she would protect him. While everyone was firing magic at the monster and Hajime was trying to escape, some guy flashed a creepy smile and intentionally blasted Hajime with an attack, causing him to fall. Hajime wonders who could possibly want him dead. He doesn't remember having any enemies, but that attack was definitely aimed right at him. Who the heck was it? He decides it doesn't matter anymore, because that giant bear monster is standing right in front of him again. As the monster closes in, the flashback shows the rest of the group telling everyone to run. They all thought someone just missed their target by accident. Kaori was freaking out about Hajime, but could not do anything to help. Meanwhile, Hajime falls off the bridge. Exactly 9 days before this whole mess, Kaori had gone up to Hajime and begged him not to go into the Great Orcus Labyrinth for training. She told him she had a horrible nightmare where they were in a pitch-black place, and when she called out to him, he didn't answer. She chased after him, but could not catch him. Hajime asked what happened next, and Kaori said he just vanished. Hajime told her that his job class was super common and not built for combat, so he asked if she would protect him. Since she was a priest, she could heal him if he got banged up. Kaori promised to keep him safe. Back in the present, Hajime is lying in that freaky place, realizing nobody is coming to save him. He wonders why he has to go through all this, and what he even did wrong. His classmates betrayed him, and the enemies down here are ridiculously overpowered. He decides he has to survive this hopeless abyss and make it back home. He swears that anyone who gets in his way is his enemy, and if anyone tries to stop him, he will kill them. He is starving and dying of thirst, and he simply does not care anymore. He decides he will eat the monsters. A pack of wolves is prowling around, and when one lunges at him, Hajime catches it in a trap, uses his magic to fill the monster's insides with solid rock, and tells it to shut up because he is pissed off and starving. He tells the monster to just let him eat it. He starts devouring the wolf raw, groaning that it tastes even worse than he imagined. Suddenly, he feels incredibly weird, like something is eating him from the inside out. His body starts going through massive changes, and his hair turns completely white. He wonders if eating monster meat is lethal, realizing his DNA is totally rewriting itself. When he finally opens his eyes, he is lying in the pool of holy water. He realizes that if it weren't for the holy water, he would be dead, for sure. The monster meat was tearing him apart from the inside, but the healing water saved his life. He doesn't feel any pain. In fact, his body feels incredibly light. He wonders what the heck just happened to him. Looking at his reflection, he realizes he looks like some kind of demon. He checks his status plate and sees he has picked up a ton of new skills, like mineral appraisal, mana manipulation, and iron stomach, all stacked on top of his transmutation. Eating that monster meat made his stats shoot through the roof. He is hyped about getting lightning field, language comprehension, and other crazy skills. With mana manipulation, he can control mana directly without even chanting a spell. He tests out the lightning field, realizing it is the exact same power the wolf had. He notes that while he cannot shoot lightning like that two-tailed wolf, he can control the voltage and amps perfectly. He starts cooking the leftover meat, mentioning it smells a bit funky, but it beats eating it raw. Now he needs a weapon. He discovers that just by touching a rock, he can figure out exactly what its properties are. He figures if he plays his cards right, he can craft a solid weapon. He finds tar stone, a super tough black rock that absorbs heavy impacts, but gets brittle in the cold. He also finds blaster rock, a highly flammable stone that explodes when hit or pressurized, basically acting like gunpowder to create top-tier magical explosions. Now, he is packing a slick revolver crafted from that super tough stone, fully loaded with bullets packed with explosive rock powder. By accelerating the bullets with his lightning magic, he instantly completely obliterates that terrifying rabbit monster with a single shot. He decides his new gun needs a badass name, so he calls it Donner. After that, he eats the rabbit, which bumps his level up even higher. Hajime realizes that every time he eats a new monster, his stats get a massive boost, and these new skills will definitely help him find an exit. He picks up Quick Step, which lets him practically teleport, and Aerodynamics, which he uses to push off the air itself. He decides it is payback time, and goes hunting for his favorite bear monster. When he finds it, he acts like they are old buddies, asking if it enjoyed eating his arm, and telling it that he is going to kill and eat it now. The bear charges at him, but Hajime uses his quick step to warp out of the way. He taunts the bear, uses aerodynamics to jump into the air, and unloads his gun into the monster. But the bullets do not do much damage. The bear manages to land a hit right in his face. Hajime pulls out a custom flashbang device he is super proud of and tosses it. It goes off with a blinding light, leaving the bear totally blind. Hajime takes the shot, blows the bear's arm clean off, and starts eating it like a wild animal. Seeing this completely terrifies the giant bear. Hajime admits it tastes absolutely disgusting, but says it is the best meal he has ever had because of the sweet revenge. He chugs some holy water, and when the bear tries to attack again, Hajime hits it with a lightning field, drops it to the ground, and puts a bullet right through its head to finish the job. Hajime promises himself he is going to survive, make it home, and kill absolutely anyone who gets in his way. That wraps up Chapter 1. Chapter 2 kicks off with Hajime eating the monster meat and washing it down with holy water. He realizes his stats have stopped going up from eating the same stuff. Looking over his skills, he decides that if he cannot find a way up, he is just going to go deeper. He figures if he can use his transmute skill horizontally, he can totally use it vertically too. People always say the labyrinth has 100 levels, but he has no clue which one he is currently on. He starts walking, but cannot see a thing in the pitch-black darkness. He sparks a light, knowing it is a massive risk in the dark, but he has 0 options left. Suddenly, he spots a lizard clinging to the wall. The lizard shoots a laser from its eyes that literally turns Hajime's arm into solid stone, and the petrification starts spreading. Hajime quickly chugs some magic water to heal it. When the lizard rushes him, Hajime uses his quick step to dodge and blasts it dead. After that, he goes on a killing spree, taking out a butterfly, a frog, a shark, and a bunch of other freaky monsters, one by one. The scene then shifts to the kingdom, where the group leader is briefing the king about the trap that suddenly warped them all the way down to level 65. The king notes that is incredibly deep. His minister adds that it is the deepest level ever discovered, and it is totally crawling with behemoths. Meld explains they had a massive showdown with a behemoth and an army of skeleton soldiers, but apologizes because it was a total disaster. The minister mentions a rumor spreading through the kingdom that one of the heroes chosen by God died. The king orders everyone to keep their mouths shut about it. Meld agrees, and we see Shizuku standing behind him, reflecting on that horrible incident. She goes to check on Kaori, who is unconscious and crying in her sleep. Shizuku remembers the fight, how Hajime stayed behind to protect Kaori, and how he was trying to run back when someone completely blindsided him with an attack. Kaori had tried to run to him, but Shizuku held her back as Hajime fell into the abyss. Kaori had cried that she promised to protect him, but Captain Meld knocked her out to keep her safe. Shizuku thanks him, knowing he did it so they wouldn't lose the whole team trying to save one kid. After that, Shizuku heads outside to train. We get another flashback, where a guy named Ishtar welcomes all the summoned heroes from another world to his kingdom. He explains that their world has 3 races: humans, demons, and beastmen. The humans have been in a bloody war with the demons for years, but the demons figured out how to control monsters, completely flipping the balance of power. Humanity is basically on the brink of extinction. To stop this, Ihit, the god of creation, summoned heroes with incredible powers from another world. One of the students, Koki, steps up and says the people of this kingdom are in danger and they cannot just let them die. He rallies everyone to fight and save them. Their teacher, Aiko, steps in and refuses to let them fight, saying it is her responsibility to keep them safe. But students like Ryutaro and Shizuku back Koki up and get ready for war. Caught up in the hype, Kaori agrees too. Nobody listens to the poor teacher. Hajime is just sitting there quietly, taking it all in. Back in the present, Shizuku is convinced something fishy went down and wonders how Hajime really fell. We then see Hiyama muttering to himself that nobody saw him and everything went perfectly without a hitch. Shizuku calls out to him, making him jump. She asks what is going on, but he plays dumb and asks what she is doing. She says she is just training and suggests he do the same. He nervously brushes her off and bails. Shizuku is super suspicious and wonders if Hiyama has always been this shady. He always picked on Hajime back home, but she wonders if he did it because he has a crush on Kaori. She starts connecting the dots about Hajime's fall, but tries to shake the thought, telling herself it is impossible. She goes to Kaori, who is finally awake. Shizuku asks how she is doing, and Kaori says she feels fine, but super exhausted. Shizuku points out that she has been knocked out for 5 straight days. Kaori is shocked and tries to remember what happened, recalling the monster attack. Shizuku interrupts her to offer some water. Kaori still cannot piece it together and asks where Hajime is, assuming they saved him. Shizuku drops the bomb that they didn't. Kaori refuses to believe it and tries to get out of bed. When Shizuku tries to stop her, Kaori insists she has to go because Hajime must be waiting for them, completely alone and scared. Down in the abyss, Hajime is prepping his ammo. He has no idea how deep this place goes. He figures he has dropped 50 levels since his initial fall. He spots a massive door and thinks the answers might be behind it. He is determined to survive and make it home. He walks up to the door, noting he has studied a ton, but has never seen anything like it. Guessing it is ancient, he tries to use transmute to open it, but gets hit with a massive electric shock. Suddenly, the stone monsters guarding the door come to life. One charges at him, but Hajime dodges and puts a bullet right in its eye. He apologizes sarcastically, saying he figured out their little game and is not going to wait around for them to kill him. Another monster attacks, but blocks his shot. Hajime backs up, realizing the monster has defense magic, but he already figured out its weak spot. When the monster lunges, Hajime jumps and fires, but the beast catches the bullets with its bare hands. Hajime puts some distance between them and taunts it, asking why it won't step away from the door. He guesses it is guarding a massive secret. Knowing the monster cannot leave its post, Hajime unloads a barrage of bullets, shattering its defense. The monster swings at him, but Hajime teleports behind it, blows its eye out, and asks what it was trying so hard to protect. Up above, Kaori tells Shizuku she still wants to believe Hajime is alive. She knows the odds are terrible, but she needs to see it for herself. She vows to get stronger and asks Shizuku for help. Shizuku agrees, saying they are best friends, and Kaori gives her a huge hug. Back underground, Hajime realizes the monsters literally were the keys to the door. He places their magical cores into the door, and it glows brightly before opening. Inside, he sees a bunch of weird magical lines leading to a crystal box in the center of the room. He walks over and realizes there is a girl sealed inside. Hajime wonders if she is human and awkwardly apologizes for interrupting, turning to leave. The girl, whose name is Yue, begs him to wait and help her. Hajime bluntly says no thanks. She asks why, saying she will do anything. Hajime points out that any person with half a brain would see she was intentionally locked up here, and regardless of her story, he is way too busy. She insists it wasn't her fault, and says she was betrayed. Hearing the word betrayed stops Hajime in his tracks. He asks who betrayed her and why they locked her up instead of just killing her. She explains that she comes from a long, incredibly powerful lineage of vampires. She worked her absolute hardest to protect her people, but one day, her ministers decided they did not need her anymore, and her uncle wanted the throne for himself. Hajime asks if she was royalty. She says yes, and explains that they framed her as a massive threat. Since they physically could not kill her, they sealed her away. Hajime asks what she means by that, and she reveals she heals insanely fast. Any wound she takes regenerates almost instantly. Hajime is impressed by her immortality. She adds that she can manipulate mana directly without needing a magic circle. Hajime realizes she is insanely powerful and understands why they were terrified of her. She begs him to help her. Hajime tries to break the seal, but it won't budge. He pours every ounce of his strength into it and finally shatters the crystal, freeing her. Exhausted, he chugs some holy water. She asks for his name, and when he tells her, she just keeps repeating his name. He asks for her name, but she says she forgot it and wants him to give her a new one. He names her Yue. He explains that where he comes from, it means moon, because her golden hair and red eyes reminded him of the moon shining in the night sky. She absolutely loves the name, declaring she is Yue from now on, and gives him a massive hug. Out of nowhere, something violently attacks Hajime, and that is where the chapter wraps up. Chapter 3 starts with Hajime pulling out his healing water and pouring it over his fresh wounds. Yue pulls some massive spikes out of his back, and we see the attacker is a gigantic monster crab. This thing was stationed there specifically to keep Yue locked up. Hajime tosses Yue his jacket to cover up, throws her on his back, and warns the crab that if it gets in his way, he is going to kill it and eat it. He pulls out his gun and starts firing, but the bullets literally do nothing. The crab starts blasting lasers from its claws. Hajime dodges the blasts, but when he tries to line up a shot, the crab launches its spike attack again. Hajime kicks the spikes away, drops to the ground, tosses a flash grenade, and stealthily reloads. The monster totally trashes the room, but Hajime uses his quick step to evade it. He jumps up and shoots the monster in the head, but its armor is so thick, the bullets bounce right off. Suddenly, Yue bites Hajime's neck to drink his blood. Hajime uses his transmute skill to pull up a wall of stone for cover, but the crab has the exact same skill and starts tearing the wall down. Hajime smirks, telling the crab it has a neat trick, but earth magic is his specialty. Their magical abilities clash hard. Now fueled by Hajime's blood, Yue unleashes a massive spell called Azure Heaven and blasts the monster. The spell drains so much of her energy that she collapses, but the monster is still kicking. Hajime checks on her, and she admits high-level magic takes a lot out of her. He asks if she can pull it off one more time. She says yes, but it will be weaker. He says that is perfectly fine, and asks if she remembers where he shot the beast with Donner. She nods, and he tells her to hit that exact spot when he gives the signal. He distracts the monster, gives Yue the cue, and she blasts it. Hajime jumps off the monster's back and unloads his gun right into the cracked armor, finally killing it. Yue asks why he didn't just ditch her and run away. Hajime tells her he is not a scumbag. He knows she got brutally betrayed and put all her trust in him, so if he abandoned her, he would be absolute trash. While butchering the monster, he mentions that vampires were supposed to have been wiped out in a huge war 300 years ago. He realizes that means she is way over 300 years old, and asks if all vampires live that long. Yue says she is special because her crazy regeneration keeps her from aging. Hajime asks if she has any idea where they are or how to get back to the surface. She doesn't know the exact way up, but mentions a rumor that this labyrinth was created by a maverick. He asks what a maverick is, and she explains they were messengers of the gods who rebelled during the Age of Gods. Hajime is shocked that people actually went against the gods. She says the legends claim the mavericks tried to destroy the world, but failed and had to hide. Hajime pieces it together, realizing the Great Orcus Labyrinth is a maverick hideout. and there is probably a maverick chilling at the very bottom. He figures if they can make it to the deepest part, someone with that kind of divine magic could easily create a path to the surface. He then pulls out a super hard mineral called star ore that absorbs mana and gets stronger. He starts crafting something with it. Yue asks what he is making, and he explains it is a railgun conversion for his anti-material rifle. He says his gun, Donner, is already strong, but this perfect material will make it completely overpowered. He finishes it and names it Schlagen. Yue asks how he ended up down here, how he can manipulate mana directly, and how he can eat monster meat when he is just a human. She also asks what happened to his arm. Hajime tells her to hold her horses and promises to explain everything. As they keep walking, he tells her the whole story about getting summoned by a god to save the world, having a useless synergist job class, getting bullied, getting betrayed during a boss fight, falling into the abyss, losing his arm, and eating monster meat to survive. Hearing all this makes Yue really sad, but Hajime tells her not to sweat it. He says he literally does not care about his classmates anymore. He just wants to get stronger and go home. Yue looks down and says she doesn't even have a home to go back to. Hajime asks if she wants to come with him to his world. He warns her it might be a little boring since there is no magic there, but they will figure it out. Yue asks if he is totally sure, and he says absolutely. Meanwhile, back in the kingdom, Captain Meld is blown away by Kuki's rapidly growing skills and praises him. Shizuku confidently says failure is not an option for them. Kuki hypes everyone up, promising they will crush their training together. Back in the labyrinth, Hajime is sprinting with Yue on his back. Yue tells him not to give up. Hajime complains that these monsters are driving him crazy because no matter how many times he shoots them, they just keep getting back up. He notices they all have weird flowers growing on their heads. Yue says they look kind of cute, but Hajime thinks she is insane. He remembers the first monster didn't have a flower, meaning these are parasites controlling the bodies. If they don't kill the source, they will have to fight every single monster on the floor. He ducks into a hiding spot, and Yue starts drinking his blood again. While Hajime looks for the source, Yue keeps biting him. He jokingly asks the vampire princess if she could chill with the blood-sucking. She says she cannot control it. Hajime calls her bluff, saying she is not nearly as exhausted as she is pretending to be. He spots a suspicious cave, dodges the monsters, slips inside, and blocks the entrance. He takes a breather, thinking they are safe. Yue praises him, but Hajime tells her to get off his back if she really wants to make him happy. As they head deeper, they see strange roots. Hajime thinks they hit the jackpot, but wonders why his enemy detection skill didn't go off. Suddenly, glowing green blobs fly at them. Hajime throws up a rock wall for defense and guesses the attack is coming from the source. He asks Yue if she knows where it is coming from, but turns around to see she is being controlled by the parasite and is attacking him. Hajime dodges, realizing the green stuff took her over. Yue relentlessly attacks him. Hajime thinks about shooting her, but hesitates and just keeps running. The green blob hits his head, and the parasite tries to make Yue kill him. She apologizes, begging him to just shoot her. However, Hajime just laughs. Since he ate the parasite-infected monsters earlier, he gained total immunity to their mind control, so the spore on his head just shrivels up and dies. The boss tries to force Yue to attack again. Yue begs him to shoot, and Hajime jokes that things just got really busy. He perfectly lines up a shot and fires a bullet that grazes Yue's head, shredding the parasite flower and hitting the monster behind her. He finishes the boss off with another shot. Hajime asks Yue if she is okay or feeling weird. She is stunned that he actually shot at her. Hajime reminds her she literally asked him to. She argues that he didn't even hesitate for a second. Hajime says he had to take the shot and knew he wouldn't miss. He jokes that if he had shot without warning, she would have been super pissed. Yue touches her head and pouts that he burned off some of her hair. Hajime brushes it off, saying it will grow back. She puffs out her cheeks and starts hitting him. Later, he asks if she wants some food, but she passes. He points out she was sealed for 300 years and asks if she ever gets hungry. She admits she used to, but she is fine now. He asks if she ate anything recently, and she says she had his blood. Hajime realizes that as long as she drinks his blood, she does not need normal food. Yue explains that blood is just the most efficient way for her to get nutrition. She then gives him a hungry look, compliments his taste, and starts drinking his blood all over again. Moving on, they finally reach a massive door on the 100th floor. Hajime says whatever they are looking for has to be behind this gate. He asks if she is scared, and she says not as long as he is with her. He smiles, and they push the doors open, ending the chapter. Chapter 4 starts with them stepping onto the 100th floor. It is a stunning room, and Hajime wonders if this is the Maverick's hideout. If it is, they finally hit their goal. Yue grabs his hand, and they walk forward. Suddenly, the ground shakes violently, and a massive magic circle appears. Hajime gets nervous, realizing they are about to face the real boss. Yue squeezes his hand and tells him not to worry because they are not going to lose. Hajime agrees, and a colossal six-headed dragon spawns in front of them. Hajime readies his rifle as the red dragon head blasts them with fire, but they dodge it. A white dragon head attacks Hajime, but he dodges that too. A green snake head attacks Yue, but she counters with a magic ice spell. The fire and ice heads team up to blast Hajime, but he shoots both of them right in the mouth. However, the white snake head instantly heals all their wounds. Yue points out the healer, and Hajime realizes they have to take that one out first. All the heads rush Hajime at once. He jumps out of the way and returns fire. Yue launches an attack, but a yellow snake head steps up and blocks it with a shield. Hajime notes the boss has perfect balance, with a healer, an attacker, and a defender. As Yue prepares another spell, a black snakehead interrupts her, staring into her eyes and trapping her in a terrifying illusion. She hallucinates being trapped back in her dark seal, while Hajime walks away and abandons her. She screams in terror. The dragon is about to crush her, but Hajime fires a shot, scoops her up, and runs away, tossing a flash grenade to blind the heads. He splashes holy water on Yue to snap her out of it. She wakes up, relieved he didn't leave her. Hajime gives her a pep talk, promising they are going to kill this thing, survive, and make it to the surface. He readies his rifle, telling Yue he can only fire one heavy shot at a time and needs her to cover him. When the dragon charges, Hajime dashes to the side, while Yue steps up and unleashes 3 massive spells at once. A tornado of lightning and despair. The black snakehead tries to pull Yue back into an illusion, but remembering how Hajime saved her, completely destroys her fear, and she blasts it with a massive shock of lightning. The dragon tries to use an illusion on Hajime, but he totally ignores it and shoots the head right in the mouth. He then pulls out his heavy rifle and obliterates 3 of the dragon heads in one shot. Yue finishes off the remaining heads with a massive lightning strike. Exhausted, she drops to her knees. Out of nowhere, the largest snakehead bursts from the monster's body and lunges at Yue. Hajime dives in front of her and takes the hit. The attack is so insanely powerful that it completely shatters Hajime's new rifle and leaves him unconscious on the ground. Yue rushes to his side, but the snake attacks again. She throws up a magical shield to protect them, but the snake relentlessly pounds against it. Knowing the shield won't hold, she drags Hajime away to a corner and forces some holy water down his throat to heal him. She promises that this time, she is going to save him. She grabs his gun and runs to draw the monster's attention. When the snake strikes, she jumps and shoots it right in the eye. The monster goes totally berserk and hits her with a massive energy blast, knocking her to the ground. Even then, she is only thinking about protecting Hajime, but she cannot reach the gun. Seeing Hajime lying there, she breaks down crying. Hajime is technically unconscious, but he can sense that Yue is crying. Right as the monster is about to finish her off, Hajime blasts out of nowhere and saves her. He grabs her and sprints away, noticing that all the enemy's attacks look like they are moving in slow motion. Yu tells him the attacks aren't slower, he has just gotten way faster. Hajime tells Yu to drink his blood because he is going to need her magic. They agree to finish this together, and she takes a bite. Hajime is now moving at literal lightning speed. We get a quick flashback, showing that while Hajime was knocked out, he was furious with himself for lying there. He absolutely refused to let his partner die at the hands of some garbage monster. His eyes turn glowing red, his aura completely explodes, and he unlocks a brand new ability called Airwalk, letting him move instantly. He tells Yu to hit the boss with her Azure spell the second he gives the signal. He sprints around the room, jumping off the walls and blasting holes in the ceiling. He shoves explosive rocks into the holes. He acts like he is going to attack head-on, but warps away, screaming that this is payback for what it did to Yu. He detonates the rocks, burying the monster under a massive pile of rubble. Hajime uses his transmute skill to drive huge stone spikes right through the rubble into the monster, pinning it down. He signals Yue, and she drops her Azure Blast right on its head, finally killing it. Completely drained, Hajime collapses on his back. Yue lies down right next to him, telling him he did amazing. He says she kicked ass too. With the boss dead, the door to the next area finally opens. Meanwhile, back at the kingdom, the teacher Aiko is arguing with Ishtar, furious that he is forcing kids to fight. She points out they just watched their friend die and need time to grieve. Ishtar coldly says casualties are part of war. Aiko threatens to stop using her farming skills to feed the kingdom if he doesn't stop. Ishtar caves and promises they won't force anyone who doesn't want to fight. Aiko thanks him, and Ishtar formally asks her to please keep helping their agricultural sector. Aiko walks away, regretting that she didn't put her foot down sooner, but vows to protect her students now. We then see Kaori in the labyrinth, lost in thought about Hajime. Shizuku checks on her, telling her not to push herself too hard. Koki walks up, praising Kaori's kindness, but says they cannot let a classmate's death hold them back forever. He insists they have to keep moving forward, and he is sure Hajime would want that too. They pack up and keep moving, ending the chapter.